Hi everyone, I'm Tim Takacs and welcome back to Takacs McGinnis Elder Care Law News Hour. Our focus today is on estate planning, taxes, and trust as they relate to the needs of certain demographic groups.
In this segment, we're going to continue exploring the topic of estate planning and women, but we're going to look at it from a unique perspective. Women and divorce. And with us is Rosemary Frank, the principal of Rosemary Frank Financial in Brentwood, and she is a divorce financial planner. What in the world is that, Rosemary?
Well, it's a specialization in financial planning. And as such, I'm a consultant to persons who are going through a divorce, to them as well as their attorney. And a lot of what I do is point out tax indications and consequences of decisions that they make today and how those play out over the years in a forecast. So divorce presents a lot of unusual circumstances. There are a lot of the tax rules that we deal with on an everyday basis in financial advisory and financial planning that have exceptions in divorce. And there are a lot of other rules that apply only to divorce. So it's a specialized area that we want to be sure that we've got all the information that that's available so that we can make better decisions during the settlement process. And also part of my function is to forecast where proposed settlements take each of the parties into the future, which of course brings us to the stage of estate planning, the future.
Right.
So, better understanding of all those issues and what lies ahead makes for better decisions today.
So what do the statistics say about the impact of divorce on women?
Oh, divorce is devastating to women. Different research shows that women's standard of living, lifestyle, will decrease anything between 25 and 50% post-divorce. And it's only a slight decrease for men post-divorce, or no change at all, or even an increase in their standard of living. It's also important to note that the divorce rates for women and all couples over the age of 50 has doubled over the past 2 decades, which is devastating to estate plans and people who have lived longer together and have more accumulated together, and this divorce is now causing a slicing and dicing of that marital estate.
I think we're going to put up a graphic about some net worth illustrations, and
there we go.
There we go. Can you talk to us about this data and what kind of conclusions?
Yeah, this is an illustration that I've done literally hundreds of times, one version of it or another, depending on what people's numbers show. And the numbers aren't so important. You can have a lot of money, you can have a little bit of money. In fact, if you have just a little bit, every dollar becomes much more important. So what this chart illustrates is that a divorcing party at settlement time may come out of that divorce with equal net worth. Net worth is everything you have minus everything you owe. So at the right hand of the chart there, you see where both of those lines begin at the exact same point. However much money that is, it doesn't really matter. It's the same for each of them. So they come out of this divorce with a 50-50 settlement, and they're expecting to have similar lifestyles given that equal division of resources at the time of divorce. But this is an actual forecast when all of the factors and all of the tax issues and all of the behaviors of all the assets that was in that estate are brought together and forecast over 20 years.
So it looks like over 20 years that the husband, that's the green line.
Yeah.
So he's doing much better than the.
He's flourishing. And the wife, the ex-wife, is literally living her plan for bankruptcy.
Right. All right. So let's talk about estate planning a little bit. I think we have a feel for the financial impact of divorce on women. So what are the estate planning implications?
Well, women need to get up to speed on financial issues post-haste. And be controlling their financial situation and doing their own estate planning. And the estate plan that they had as a couple is totally irrelevant now. She has to be able to plan for her own needs, and I think of an estate as people assembling their resources to meet their needs after they no longer have strong incomes, and what they don't happen to use in their elder non-income years goes to their heirs. So estate planning is not just for after you're deceased. Estate planning is to put in place those things that you need in order to meet your needs.
Right. So it sounds like to me is that like what Jana was talking about of a woman who is suddenly widowed, it's somewhat similar, maybe perhaps.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
you know, a woman who is divorced, both separated, both no support.
Absolutely. And you know, many women lament to me their regret that they were not more involved in the financial management in their household, in their marriage. And you have to understand that 90% of all women will at one time be solely responsible for the finances. So you have to prepare for that, or you have to participate along the way.
So Rosemary, we've got just about a minute left. So can you tell us maybe the biggest mistake that women make during divorce?
Yeah,
they can impact their financial planning process.
Yeah, they think they need to
planning.
keep the house, and the house can be a rock around their neck, literally.
Yeah, they think it's security, but it could be a burden.
It's a very expensive asset,
Yeah.
Right.
and you know, it may not be financially sound to retain something like that.
All right.
So, so let's see, where can we go for people to get more information if they're experiencing the divorce?
Well, my website, rosemaryfrank.com, has a lot of good information on it, and I also do a workshop for women experiencing divorce on the second Saturday of every month at the Nashville School of Law.
All right.
Huge resource for information. I always have an attorney and a therapist with me for that.
So we're going to say goodbye to Rosemary Frank, but thank her for being here. We've talked about basics of estate planning, and we will be back in next episode that you will see us. And until then, we hope that you get your ducks in a row.